Hi, welcome back to Master Recaps. Today I will show you a horror film from 2016 titled Dokumashi. The story of 7 strangers who wake up in a building that is closed on all sides, without them knowing who captured them and for what purpose. All 7 consisted of girls. Neat girl, student, otaku, salaryman, young coach and rogue here. I would like to call him a person according to his personality so as not to confuse who is who. Together they try to find a way out of the building. But the entrance door and all the windows were all closed. Only surveillance cameras were still in operation and they were installed throughout the building. It was suggested that the first thing they should find was water and food to sustain life. Everyone decided to disperse and explore each floor of the building until they found a bathroom that was still usable. When the water is available for drinking, then later it is a matter of food. They continued exploring the building until they found a room with knives and a large cauldron in the middle of the room with a countdown clock, but there was no food at all. The salaryman then said that in the olden days they would confine them to the most venomous animals, including snakes, centipedes, scorpions, and other venomous creatures, for them to kill and eat amongst themselves until the last venomous animal remains. Which the otaku said he knows the game. The person who caught us here might be watching us through CCTV and betting on survivors. It's a survivor game in order to find the last survivor. And if the countdown runs out, we'll all die. Someone asked if for 7 days we would starve to death before we could get out of here. The salaryman said it was easy. We all had to kill and eat their meat using the knives and pots in the middle of the room. The survival game has begun. On the first day everyone took the lead and pledged that they wouldn't kill and eat each other until the last day, but after 2 days, hunger began to hit them all. The water alone certainly didn't make them endure until the 7th day. Little by little, the raw nature and essence of each person's mind began to be revealed. Otaku begins to do what he is good at, relentlessly following the life of a young girl. The neatest girl in the group was brutally raped by a gangster. Everyone started to fight with each other like crazy until finally someone died. The gangster's corpse was dragged into the kitchen. The others started to huddle together to find their companions. Everyone knew that being alone was more dangerous. The female coach had used her own manners to entice students and other men into becoming her ally. As the days passed, someone pushed a neat girl and fell to her death downstairs. Murders began to occur among them, and they all gave up their intentions of being together and dispersed in different directions. An otaku did what others didn't expect, to break into and rape a little girl in the bathroom. Fortunately, the student was able to save her in time. The otaku has said that in a few days we will all be dead. Why don't you find happiness for the last time before he walks away? 6 days have passed with the 5 remaining survivors, whose hunger has led them to reunite in the kitchen with an otaku already waiting for them there. The corpses of a gangster and a neat girl are cut, disassembled, and boiled in a cauldron to be eaten as a means of survival before using a knife to attack others because he is crazy and insane. The female coach who saw a bad posture immediately rushed over to kiss the otaku, and when he touched the first kiss in his life, the knife he was holding fell down. The young coach then used that moment to grab a knife and slash the otaku's stomach until his intestines spilled out into a pile and brutally killed him. Day 7 finally arrived. They only had 24 hours here with only 4 survivors left. Nobody knew what was going to happen to them. The female coach then uses the trick to entice the salaryman to reveal the secret of what he sees as the killer among us, the most innocent-looking little girl in the group, in which she pushed a neat girl down from upstairs because of personal jealousy, with a salaryman watching everyone's events from a distance. And when the secret was revealed, the female coach immediately came to attack her. They fought until the girl's wig fell out. She was actually not an innocent girl as everyone thought, but she was an adult with a hormonal disorder until her body stopped growing. People around her all the time, so she was jealous of a neat girl who was more ready than her and decided to kill her in the end. And when all the secrets were revealed, both about her as a murderer and about her not a child, the girl decided to use the razor blade she had hidden and cut herself to the death of a terrifying one. The time in the kitchen began to count down to 15 minutes, but there were still 3 survivors left. The salaryman who seemed to be the smartest in the group grabbed a knife in his hand. Over the course of 7 days, he almost never appeared. Because he knew that everyone would not be able to stand it and would kill each other in the end. And then at that time, he will come out and become the winner of this game. This was a plan he had thought of from the beginning. Later, the young coach walked into the kitchen to check how much time was left. She is already the victim of a salaryman who is waiting to attack other survivors. Now there's less than 10 minutes left with the other 2 survivors, a student and a salaryman. The 2 had fought to the death because at this point there could only be 1 survivor. Students who have the advantage of strength and youth therefore defeated the salaryman and eventually killed him. The countdown has expired, but there is no sign that the game is over. Minutes later, the building was opened by rescuers. They entered the building and were met with bloodstains and numerous bodies. With still 1 survivor in it, he was later rescued. The students survived the building and learned the truth of the whole story, that Japan had a great earthquake. The 7 of them are victims who are rescued from the rubble and all are taken to a disaster prevention building, which later its mechanical system works because of the higher seismic vibrations. All doors and windows were sealed to keep insiders safe and lock them inside. Before everything calmed down, the students asked about the stopwatch and the knives and pots that were placed in the middle of the room like that. The staff then brought a plan of that building to spread to him and told him that the place was a kitchen used for cooking for the victims. The clock was meant to count down the mechanical system of the building. All of them are still in the experimental phase, so nothing is predictable for sure. Even they don't think the system will work this fast. As they had not prepared anything for the victims, not even water and food had been put into the building. So the students said that there were people talking about confining poisonous animals together and killing each other, which was the 7 of them, wasn't it? The officer then handed a piece of paper to him to look at. When the student saw him, he was shocked because the salaryman was actually not the person he said he was, but the psychotic serial killer the authorities were looking for. What he said inside that building was to spin the nerves for everyone to kill each other. There was no survival game from the beginning. They just have to stay and wait until the time runs out. The mechanics of this building will open the door and everyone will survive. That's the end of this movie. Subscribe for more video like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.